go back to boxing. With that, I know like you coming in here with the shirt El Bandera Roja, for Mr. David Benavidez. And I know that David Benavidez is in preparation right now for a big fight in the super middleweight division against Caleb Plant. And I know that David Benavidez is really looking forward to this particular bout here against Caleb Plant. I think they, have it maybe scheduled for sometime in March or something like that. Don't necessarily have an exact date for it, or at least it, hasn't been reported out there for it. But like, how do you feel about David Benavidez getting into a fight that he has been waiting for at least 2 or 3 years?
Well, this is really personal. I remember with Mike Tyson, when he put the security around the ring, in the middle of the ring, and each one he was separate. I remember that. I don't know if I would do the same thing, because the animosity between each other is terrible. And the story is very simple. In one point, it was planned like 11 or 13 fights, something like that. They said, I want to fight your guy, Benavidez. I will knock him out. I said, listen, it's not the right time. I told him to plan. And, you should start your career, in a few years from now, you will be a champion and you will be a champion. And not only you will fight them, you will make money. So he went to the press and he said, planned that I didn't want to take a chance with them, with Benavidez. So then I got upset, Benavidez. And I explained to Benavidez what the situation. Anyway, this guy planned, he had the same gym in different hours. So he went in an hour of Benavidez, and he started to curse each other, and it was a fixed fight. Punches through him. The brother got involved. The father got involved. So that is the reason that the animosity. And he cursed each other. When any one of them, he make a mistake, automatically go to the social media and say, you make this kind of mistake, you make the other mistake, it doesn't deserve, things like that. And that is the reason that many times you want to try to sell the fight. Mm-hmm. This time, you don't need to sell the fight. He will buy the fight because it's a real hate between each other. I never saw something even closer.
Yeah, and I know that, coming off of Benavidez's last fight against David Lemieux, there was, some talk that, maybe that Benavidez could move forward and potentially fight David Morrell. But, he had David Morrell, have his defense against Ido Shibasanu. But I think that you may have had like a fight set between David Benavidez and David Morrell, but it just, didn't, end up working that way because of, Morrell's mandatory defense. But, after he had that mandatory defense, like you said, you were working towards, having this fight between Benavidez and Caleb Plant, because it's like Benavidez is like, you know what? I want this guy, Caleb Plant, because I want to, shut him up once and for all. So maybe the Morrell fight would have been in play, but I guess David Benavidez preferred to say, you know what? Let me have Caleb Plant.
Yeah, both of them, he make that decision, I believe. It was mutual because he want to hurt each other. That would be an unbelievable fight, I can tell you that much. I cannot wait for that to happen. Most likely be in March. We don't know where exactly, and we don't know the day exactly, but it'll be definitely in March under the contract that both signs. March is the time. Remember, this is the crazy March with the basketball, so you need to be very careful the days. That is one of the reasons that we didn't come with the day yet. However, I believe that whoever goes to that fight, you will see that it's really personal, the fight. And I feel bad for the referee. I can tell you that much.
Yeah.
Besides that, look, the winner of this fight, supposedly, he be mandatory for the WBC. And you have Morrell, that is the WBC of the WBA. I believe this time the sanction bodies, if Canelo Alvarez doesn't fight Benavidez, he will get stripped. And then it be a unification between Morrell and Benavidez. And well deserved. I can tell you that much. Benavidez, he will beat Canelo, and Morrell, he will beat Canelo, because he's a hungry man and young. And Canelo is not so young anymore. He's not a young chick yet. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is that the legacy of Canelo, it be damaged because it doesn't fight, or we never fought Benavidez. I believe his children, grandchildren, he will say, you know, Grandpa, why you didn't fight Benavidez? Everybody talking about it. So the damage that he will do is in his own life, and he will regret. And I believe he want to fight Benavidez, but he have a manager that you need to keep his golden eggs on the right place. This is what I believe, that is Eddy Reynoso.
Yeah. I know that you talked about Eddy Reynoso in the past, as far as like, him kind of like calling the shots for the business moves for, as I say, Santos Saul Alvarez Barragan. His full name there. But yeah, I know that Canelo is kind of like moving towards fighting John Ryder with that WBO mandatory. But then after that, then we'll see about, if he's going to go up and face like a David Benavidez, there in the fall or something like that. And that would, work out very well there for David Benavidez, as he has definitely been looking forward to facing Canelo Alvarez.
Yeah, but remember, it was not the WBO. It's not supposed to be WBO mandatory now.
Yeah,
because when the IBF say that is the mandatory, the IBF, automatic, the WSA is our mandatory too. So you have no right to be the mandatory, but happen to be the most available and easy fight, a cherry pick that Eddie Hearn did it for Canelo to continue his business in the zone. So it's very simple. And he's his partner. So he took the easy one, and then if he decide to go and fight Bivol on 68, his legacy will be worse, because he will buy a fight if he win, and he lose his career if he lost.
Yeah.
So it's a loss situation for Canelo Alvarez to fight in 68 or to fight 75. He fights 75 and he win, so his legacy will be untouched. And then he can fight Benavidez. But if he fight in 68, he's buying the fight. Boxing, and you can go up, but to go down, you'll never be the same.
Yeah.
So this up to his manager, to Eddy Reynoso, because Eddie Hearn is only about, about business. Mm-hmm. He's one of the more smart businessmen, but not for that. The legacy that Canelo wants to do is doing wrong. He's buying the opponent, because the 75 to 68 is 7 pounds of muscle that they need to lose. And watch out, because you can lose your life too. Because he never fought in 68.
Yeah.
Never. So this is something that people need to understand. And I hope, because even he can lose in 68 too against him. So even if he win or lose, it be the same results. His legacy, it never be the same.
Right, right. So yeah, we definitely would have to, see what Canelo's next move would be after his fight that is I guess slated for May against Sean Ryder. But then after that, if he's gonna go ahead and fight, David Benavidez, or if he's gonna fight, like you said, Dimitri Bivol once again. And on my side, I'm like, with Dimitri Bivol, why not go ahead and fight for undisputed, against Artur Beterbiev? I mean, that's another fight that a lot of fight fans have been waiting for at 175 is Bivol and Beterbiev. So it's like,
you know why? Because he need to secure his future for his family, Bivol. He didn't make the money that he's supposed to get. So, so he want now the money.
Yeah.
And, many fighters sometimes he want to secure the family. And I don't blame him. So he's buying an opponent because the belts belong to him.
Mm-hmm.
So he's buying a fight. That's all.
Yeah, it's about
either way. It doesn't matter the results. Yeah. If he win, he fought the guy that he's not supposed to fight at 68, and if he lose, it's the end of his career.
Yeah, that's usually sometimes that's how it goes in prize fighting. Like you say, you're fighting for a prize and try to get the biggest prize possible. So him fighting Canelo again would easily be his biggest or most lucrative fight out there. So that is why he is interested in pursuing that over like I said, potentially undisputed against Artur Beterbiev.